This is Joy Roland, and you are listening to the Empowered Wealthy Women podcast. This is episode number 47. We know it's hard and we can do hard things. Welcome to Empowered Wealthy Women, a podcast for ambitious women who want to build wealth. You'll learn how to finally fix your relationship with money, increase your net worth, and make more money. Ladies, it's time to create a life of abundance, wealth, empowerment, and joy. Ready? Let's go! Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 47 of the Empowered Wealthy Women podcast. I'm so excited to be recording this podcast for you today. I know I say I'm excited a lot, but trust me, I am very excited. So, this past weekend, my daughter turned 5 and we had a party. It was a blast. We rented out this banquet hall and it was so beautiful. I hired people to do the decorating. I got some guys to do the food, the catering, the cake. It was a blast. If you want to see some pictures and videos, go on my Instagram or Facebook. I've posted them there. So excited. I'm so happy. Uh, Being a mom is the best job in the world for me. Of course, it comes with a lot of challenges, but overall, it's the best job. So that's one thing I'm very excited about. The other thing I'm excited about is the massive progress and success I'm finding in my business. And it actually came to my mind to start sharing what's working in my business because I get a sense that many of you have your own businesses. Like many of my listeners have their own businesses. And I like it to give you almost like a behind the scenes look on what I'm doing and where I'm finding success. So if you've listened to my podcast for any length of time, you know, I'm a huge fan of what I call the scientific method. And the scientific method is where you don't wait for someone else to tell you what's working, you go out and test your own hypothesis. So, this is how scientists discover new things. They make an educated guess, which is the hypothesis. They go out and they test their hypothesis. They analyze the data, and then they decide whether to continue doing it or to change the hypothesis. So, as business owners, to be successful, you have to be willing to test out your hypothesis. You make an educated guess at what you need to do to achieve your results. So, first of all, you set a goal. So, for me, my goal is $1 million this year. And then I test my hypothesis. So I come up with an educated guess. How do I think I can reach my $1 million goal? So my hypothesis would be create a freebie and run Facebook ads to that freebie. Another hypothesis would be to do events. So do virtual events and then tell people about my program after the event. Another one could be posting on social media, being more visible on social media and telling people about my offer. So I encourage you to test your own hypothesis because what works for one person might not work for the other person. And this is why I encourage women not to be um, discouraged or jump from one business strategy to the other. This is what I call shiny object syndrome. So you tend to look at what everyone else is doing on social media and then you jump from one new thing to the other. That's a recipe for disaster. You've got to be willing to test your own hypothesis. But I'm going to share what's working for me right now. And the clients I'm getting are coming from my social media posts. So I post on social media. On average, I do at least once every week. I do a reel and I do an Instagram live. And so I'm finding clients contacting me via DMs, asking me about my coaching programs, which is amazing. Like, I'm so thrilled about the results I'm getting. So I wanted to share that with you for you to consider testing that hypothesis for yourself. Now, you've got to be very honest with yourself. When I say be very honest with yourself, I mean tell yourself the truth. Are you taking consistent action? Many people tell themselves, oh, I'm showing up in my business, but I'm not getting results. But if you do a deep dive and you look at the actions you're really taking, many people fall short. Many people are half assing their business. You're not showing up fully and you're not showing up consistently. Now, what I find for me personally, and even for the clients I work with, when you show up consistently for 90 days, you will double your income. This has happened for me, and this is why I'm so passionate about this, about you showing up consistently in your business. Now, when I say consistently, I want you to differentiate between massive action and passive action. Many people are taking passive action. You are not taking the type of action that will help you get data back. When I say data back, I mean putting offers in front of people and getting a yes or a no. Many people hide. Many people hide because they're afraid. You are not telling the world about your offer because you doubt, you have fear, you have limiting beliefs, you have imposter syndrome, and all of these things are keeping you stuck. It's making you procrastinate, it's making you feel overwhelmed. And when you feel overwhelmed, what do? If you're like me, you buffer. You buffer with food, you buffer with anything you used to buffer. Typically, I use food, chocolate. Okay, many you buffer with alcohol. Maybe you go on Netflix to escape that negative emotion of overwhelm. So I want you to be very honest. Look at the actions you are taking in your business, and you be honest with yourself. Are these actions that will get you results? Are these actions that will make you wealthy? And so, if your goal for 2024 is to create wealth, then you need to do an audit of the actions you are taking. And if those actions are not going to get you the results you want, the good news is there is a lot of time left to pivot and to do the right actions that will get you the results you're looking for. Now, I'm so passionate about this because I want you to understand the immense gravity of the sacrifices that your ancestors, my ancestors, have made for us to have the opportunities we have today. And what I mean by that is what our grandmothers, the sacrifices they have had to make for us to be able to have the opportunities we have today. In as recently as 1981, did you know in the US that women could not open a bank account without the signature of a male relative? That's either their son, their husband, or any other male relative. Women were relegated to the home. Like, it was just what women did. Like, they had babies, they took care of the home, and they didn't have responsibility for making money. They didn't have the liberty or the freedom of all the opportunities to create wealth for themselves. Now, all of those sacrifices our ancestors have made have given us the opportunities we have today. And so it breaks my heart when I see women not taking action, when I see women not stepping up to the plate. So I believe it's your obligation, it's your responsibility to exploit all of the opportunities we have today. Never in history have women had a better chance at creating wealth as we have today. So there are no excuses. Stop being selfish. I say that a lot to my clients. When you hide in overwhelm, when you hide in limiting beliefs, when you feel you are not worthy, you don't feel good enough, you are being selfish. Yes, because if you think about the people you serve and if you become selfless, you are going to overlook all of your limitations. You are going to step up and do the thing anyway. So I tell my clients if I could have done it, any woman can. And by that, I mean, I came from a very, very disadvantaged background. I was born into abject poverty in sub Saharan Africa, the kind of poverty that you cannot even imagine. Where we used to sleep, you cannot eat there. It was so disgusting. But at the age of 25, I decided I wanted a better life. And so I left. I left my home country with very, very little English, with no money. So if I can transform my life and become the woman I am today, I believe nobody has an excuse. So I want you to be encouraged. I want you to be determined. Like, even if you feel like, oh, your life is comfortable, you don't need the extra money, I want you to think about the legacy you be leaving for your children. I want you to think about the young women coming behind us. It's our responsibility to show them what's possible. It's our responsibility to be an example of what's possible. You know, um, my daughter is off school for 2 weeks for March break. And yesterday, a friend came for a play date. And so her mother dropped her off here in my home and she went away. She dropped her off for about 7 hours. And so I decided to take them out to do some grocery shopping because my daughter has a number of allergies. And so the type of food she eats, I think, is very boring to other children. So I wanted to give this girl food she'll enjoy. So I said, okay, let's go to the grocery store. So we're um at the entrance of the house. I'm trying to get their coats and their jackets and everything, their gloves, because surprisingly, did you know it's actually snowing right now in Toronto, in Ontario. So I live in Ontario, and this is towards the end of March, and we are still seeing some snow. Anyway, so I'm getting them ready, and this girl asked me, "Oh, how did you get such a nice house?" And I said, "Well, no." She said, "Who bought it for you?" And bear in mind, this girl is 6. So I go, "I bought it myself." And she goes, "Oh, but that's for dads to do." Like, my this conversation took me aback. I go, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, dads are supposed to work and mommies stay home and take care of the children." And I'm like, I was so shocked and taken aback. And I'm like, this is 2024. Where did this girl get the idea that men are the ones that are supposed to buy homes? Like, I was really, really sad in my spirit because I felt we had passed that already. So, my daughter doesn't have that mindset because obviously she sees that I do a lot of work and I provide for her, right? I'm divorced. So, that took me aback, and I'm like, we still have a lot to do. If a 6-year-old girl in 2024 is telling me that it's the man's job to buy a house, then we have a lot of work to do. So then I'm telling you this story so that you assume your responsibility, so that you leave a better legacy for our daughters, for the girls. Maybe you don't have a daughter, maybe you don't have a child, but there are women, girls watching you, and your life will be an example of what's possible for them. So I hope you are encouraged by that little pep talk. So For today's episode, I want to talk to you about the title We Know It's Hard and We Can Do Hard Things. Now, for the past, let's say, 10 episodes now, I've been talking about the 12 steps, the 12 things that empowered wealthy women know. And I have adapted this from my own coach and mentor, Brooke Castillo. She has a course called The Possibility Formula, and she talks about 10 things that successful women know. And I've adapted this to include two extra things to make them 12 because I felt they were missing these 12 things. So, for the past 10 episodes, I've been teaching you what I have learned from my own mentor, and I've kind of added my own spin to it. So, here are the 12 things. One, we know we have to teach ourselves what's possible. Two, we know the difference between success, happiness, and being a good person. Three, we know that creating value is what creates money, and we know how to create value. Four, we know that extraordinary success includes lots and lots of money. Five, we know that life is 50-50. Six, we know failure is the price of success. Seven, we know we don't get the how until we get there. Eight, we know it's not better there than here. Nine, we know we are already 100% worthy. We are not trying to make money to prove our worth. We are already worthy. 10, we know it's hard and we can do hard things. 11, we prioritize self care because we know it's very important. Without health, we have nothing. 12, we know we deserve love and we are empowered to only be in loving relationships. Abuse is intolerable. So, we are in step number 10. We know it's hard and we can do hard things. Now, the reason why this is very important is because for some reason, lots of women think that being wealthy should be easier than it is. Um, but when you have the mindset of bring it, let's go, like my coach would say, let's go. When you have that mindset, then very, very little will phase you. So expect that on your journey to being an empowered, wealthy woman, you're going to face challenges. It's not going to be an easy ride. Well, I shouldn't say it's not going to be an easy ride. Well, it might be for you, but I want you to be open to discomfort. I want you to be open to not having things go your way all of the time. So then, what does this step mean? That we know it's going to be hard and we can do hard things. When you set your goal, mine is $1 million this year. When you set your goal and you go about achieving your goal, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to learn new things. You're going to have to do uncomfortable things. Here's an example. When I set up my business, so I launched my business last year, so December of 2023. And when I launched, I had to figure out all of the backend stuff, all of the technology, all of the operations. I did every single thing myself. I had to learn how to create a funnel. I had to learn how to create a freebie. Now, all of these usually takes women, especially the women I've worked alongside in my mastermind. It takes them 6 months. They'll keep spinning their wheels, stuck in overwhelm, stuck in procrastination. Why? Well, because technology can be very difficult to learn. If you've never created a website, if you've never created a funnel using WordPress, it's a steep learning curve, and your primitive brain um throws a fit because your primitive brain doesn't understand why the hell you are choosing to put it through such discomfort. And remember, your primitive brain is only motivated by three things. This is called the motivational triad, which is seek pleasure, run away from pain, and conserve energy. When you decide to set up a website yourself, create your website on WordPress and create your funnels, your brain sees that as discomfort. Your brain sees that as pain. And by default, your brain wants to run away from discomfort. Your brain wants to run away from pain. So your primitive brain is going to throw a fit, and then you're going to feel like this is hard. Okay? So when we are as empowered, wealthy women, when we know it's going to be hard and we can do hard things, it takes away that negotiation. We don't have to negotiate with our primitive brain. We just tell it, well, we are doing this anyway. So as you go about trying to achieve your wealth goal, expect that it's going to be hard. Expect that you are going to put yourself outside of your comfort zone. For example, if you are an introvert, if you are a very shy person and you want to be wealthy, sometimes you might have to try putting yourself out there on social media to tell more people about your offer. So, as a shy, introverted person, which I am, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable for you to put yourself out there. But when you know it's going to be hard and you can do hard things, then you say, let's go. Okay? So that's one thing you have to believe 100%. You have to believe that you have the capacity, you have the capability to do hard things. So I encourage you this week. I want you to try new things. I want you to go outside your comfort zone. I want you to decide you're going to put your skills, you're going to put your God-given gifts, you're going to put that out there so that people can benefit from your gifts. Not only will people benefit from your gifts, you're going to be rewarded handsomely for your services in the form of money. Yes, because when you put your gifts, your talents, your skills out there, people are going to appreciate it. And when people decide they want to work with you, they're going to pay you to work with you. So, I hope you are encouraged by this episode. I will see you on the next episode. Hey, very quickly before you go, if you are ready to finally fix your relationship with money, increase your net worth, and make more money, then I invite you to my one-on-one private coaching program. This is where you learn how to take control of your money and build wealth. To get started, book a free intro call with me. The link is in the show notes. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.